Spooky story, The Midnight Visitor. The old mansion stood at the edge of town, its time-worn FUD cloaked in ivy and mystery. Locals whispered of its haunted halls, claiming that the spirits of long-forgotten residents still roamed its corridors. Yet, none spoke of the Midnight Visitor, a shadowy figure that emerged only when the moon hung high in the sky. The town of Willowbrook was a place of tranquil charm by day. But as the sun dipped below the horizon, a palpable unease settled over its streets. The night air seemed to carry with it secrets untold, and the mansion exuded an aura of foreboding. Felicity Reynolds, a young writer in search of inspiration, had heard whispers of the Midnight Visitor. Her curiosity piqued. She decided to rent a room in the old mansion for the summer, hoping that the tales would spark her creativity. As the days turned into weeks, Felicity immersed herself in her writing, captivated by the history and atmosphere of the mansion. The walls seemed to whisper to her, telling tales of times long past, of love lost and secrets buried. Nights came alive with the symphony of crickets and the rustle of leaves in the wind. The mansion, however, remained still, as if holding its breath, waiting for the clock to strike midnight. Then one fateful evening, it happened. The clock in the town square chimed 12 times, its toll echoing through the quiet streets. Felicity, sitting at her desk, felt a sudden chill in the air. She glanced towards the window, her heart pounding in her chest. There, standing in the moonlight that filtered through the glass, was a figure cloaked in shadow. The Midnight Visitor had arrived. The figure was tall and slender, its features obscured by darkness. It moved with an eerie grace, gliding across the room like a phantom. Felicity's breath caught in her throat, her eyes fixed on the intruder. As the Midnight Visitor drew nearer, Felicity's fear gave way to curiosity. There was something hauntingly familiar about the figure, as if it held a connection to the mansion's forgotten past. The figure stopped, turning towards Felicity with an air of melancholy. Slowly, it raised a hand, as if beckoning her to come closer. Against her better judgment, Felicity stood and approached the enigmatic visitor. In the pale moonlight, she could now discern the figure's features. It was a woman, her face bearing an ethereal beauty that seemed to transcend time. Her eyes, though shadowed with sorrow, held a glimmer of recognition. "Who are you?" Felicity asked, her voice barely above a whisper. The woman's voice was a soft, haunting melody. "Eliza," she replied. "I'm Eliza Montgomery, the mistress of this house." Felicity's heart skipped a beat. The name was familiar. She had come across it in her research on the mansion's history. Eliza Montgomery had been the last resident of the house, a recluse who had vanished without a trace. "Why do you visit at midnight?" Felicity inquired, her curiosity mingling with a sense of trepidation. Eliza's eyes filled with sadness. "I am bound to this place, unable to find rest. I wander these halls, yearning for release from the chains that bind me." Felicity felt a surge of compassion for Eliza. It was clear that the woman's spirit was tormented, her soul tethered to the mansion in some inexplicable way. Determined to uncover the truth, Felicity delved deeper into Eliza's story. She combed through old journals and dusty archives, piecing together fragments of a life that had been shrouded in mystery. Eliza, it seemed, had been a woman of great passion and creativity, an artist whose paintings had once adorned the walls of the mansion. But tragedy had befallen her, a loss that had driven her into seclusion and despair. As Felicity delved further, she stumbled upon a letter, its pages yellowed with age. It was addressed to Eliza, penned by a long-lost love. The words spoke of devotion and regret, of a promise that had been left unfulfilled. It was then that Felicity understood. Eliza's spirit was bound by a love that had never been allowed to flourish, a promise that had been broken by the cruel hand of fate. Armed with this newfound knowledge, Felicity set out to help Eliza find the peace she so desperately sought. She researched ancient rituals and consulted with experts in the paranormal, determined to free Eliza from her spectral prison. Finally, on a moonlit night much like the one that had witnessed their first encounter, Felicity stood with Eliza in the heart of the mansion. Together, they recited the incantation, their voices blending in a haunting refrain. As the final words left their lips, the mansion seemed to tremble, its walls pulsating with an otherworldly energy. Felicity felt a profound shift in the air, as if the very fabric of reality was being rewritten. And then, with a blinding flash of light, Eliza's form began to dissolve. Her face, once filled with sorrow, now held a serene expression, as if a weight had been lifted from her soul. "Farewell," Eliza whispered, her voice a gentle breeze that seemed to caress Felicity's skin. "Thank you for setting me free." And with that, Eliza was gone, leaving behind a profound sense of stillness and peace. The mansion, once steeped in darkness and sorrow, now seemed to radiate with a newfound light. Word of Felicity's encounter with Eliza spread throughout Willowbrook, and the townspeople spoke of her with a mixture of awe and gratitude. The legend of the Midnight Visitor had finally come to an end, replaced by a story of redemption and compassion. As the years passed, the old mansion underwent a transformation. Its halls, once haunted by the echoes of the past, now echoed with the laughter of children and the warmth of a loving family. The house became a symbol of hope, a testament to the enduring power of love and the strength of the human spirit. And Felicity, forever changed by her encounter with Eliza, continued to write, her words imbued with a depth and resonance that spoke of the mysteries of the heart. She knew that some stories could not be contained within the pages of a book, but instead lived on in the whispers of the wind and the shadows of the night, waiting to be discovered by those who dared to listen.